Cette personne est Jodi Arias, et si ça ne vous dit rien pour l'instant, c'est normal. Pourtant, et on va le voir, c'est une star dans son domaine. Elle est née aux États-Unis, plus précisément en Californie le 9 juillet 1980, mais à partir du 9 juin 2008, elle va entamer sa carrière en tant que l'une des personnes les plus détestées d'Amérique. D'après elle, son enfance a été marquée par ses parents la battant avec une ceinture et une cuillère en bois, mais même cela ne pourra justifier ce dont elle est capable. Ce qu'on sait d'elle est qu'elle a 2 sœurs, 2 frères, et va à l'école jusqu'en première avant de décider d'arrêter ses études pour poursuivre sa passion dans la photographie. Elle va enchaîner plusieurs jobs à temps partiel comme photographe professionnelle, mais elle trouvera jamais de succès. Elle décide ensuite de se tourner du côté de la restauration en tant que serveuse pendant 8 ans à l'hôtel-restaurant Ventana Big Sur situé en Californie. En 2003, elle ira jusqu'à avoir une relation avec le manager du restaurant Daryl Brewer qui va durer 3 ans jusqu'en décembre 2006. Un mois avant leur séparation, elle avait fait la rencontre de Travis Alexander qui travaillait comme vendeur et conférencier motivateur pour l'entreprise Prepared Legal Services. Il avait 28 ans, était quelqu'un d'inspirant, charismatique, et Jodi, 26 ans, semblait avoir trouvé sa cible. Une semaine après leur rencontre, au cours d'une business conférence, ils commencèrent à avoir des rapports sexuels alors que Jodi venait de devenir mormone tout comme Travis pour pouvoir se rapprocher de lui. Ils avaient une relation à distance car Travis habitait à Mesa, en Arizona, qui se trouve à environ 10h30 de la Californie. Pour la faire courte, il ne développe pas de sentiments pour Jodi, contrairement à elle qui tombe amoureuse de lui. Elle écrira d'ailleurs plus tard dans son journal intime qu'ils étaient faits l'un pour l'autre. Seulement 5 mois après le début de leur relation, ils se séparent et Jodi décide de quitter la maison de ses grands-parents en Californie pour déménager à non pas une, mais 2 rues d'où se situe la maison de Travis. C'est ici que va commencer le stalking ou traçage de sa part. Même s'ils n'étaient plus en couple, ils continuent à se voir en tant que sex friends. Elle se rendait souvent chez lui pour espionner ses faits et gestes et demandait à Travis de coucher avec elle en plein milieu de la nuit. Parfois, elle s'invitait simplement chez lui via la porte à chien, puis s'endormait sur son canapé sans qu'il le sache. La situation dégénère très vite lorsque lors de l'une de ses patrouilles, Jodi le voit chez lui avec une autre femme du nom de Mimi Hall en train de s'embrasser. Énervée et en guise de représailles, Jodi la menace par email, crève à plusieurs reprises les pneus de la voiture de Travis et les suivra lors de leur premier rendez-vous ensemble. Travis avait un voyage de prévu à Cancun pour le 10 juin 2008 payé par son entreprise et auquel il pouvait inviter une personne avec lui. Elle espérait certainement être l'heureuse élue, mais Travis choisit Mimi. Il est important de noter qu'à ce stade, Jodi avait la réputation d'une ex-folle par tous les proches de Travis et qui lui avait conseillé de couper tout contact avec elle. Il lui enverra également un message fin mai où il y écrit qu'elle est la pire chose qui lui soit arrivée de sa vie. Et il n'a pas si bien dire. 6 jours avant son départ à Cancun, le 4 juin, elle se rend chez lui sans y être invitée à nouveau. Ce que l'on sait est qu'ils ont probablement discuté et qu'ils ont couché ensemble. Peu après, Jodi prend des photos de Travis nu en train de se laver dans sa salle de bain avec son nouvel appareil photo. Il est approximativement 5h de l'après-midi lorsque juste après cette photo, Jodi poignarde 27 fois Travis, lui coupe la gorge et lui tire une balle dans la tête. Cette photo est importante car Travis pesait environ 90 kg pour 1m75 et Jodi seulement 1m65. Ce qui veut dire que même armé d'un couteau, il lui fallait attendre d'avoir une position avantageuse par rapport à Travis pour pouvoir l'attaquer. C'est donc certainement elle qui lui a demandé de s'asseoir de la sorte afin qu'elle puisse avoir l'ascendant sur lui et qu'il ne soit pas en mesure de se défendre. On accélère maintenant peu avant la découverte du corps par la police avec un enregistrement vocal de Jodi qui a passé un appel sur le téléphone de Travis 6 heures après l'avoir tué. Le contenu de l'appel n'est pas forcément important. Ce qu'il faut relever ici est que Jodi essaie de se forger un alibi en appelant Travis sur son téléphone alors qu'elle vient de le tuer et afin d'éviter tout soupçon de la part de la police. Le corps de Travis est découvert 5 jours plus tard par Mimi et ses amis qui s'inquiétaient pour lui puisqu'ils n'avaient plus de nouvelles de sa part et venaient de rater son départ pour Cancun. Le 10 juin, la découverte de sa mort est annoncée par les médias et Jodi décide d'appeler la police pour les aider avec l'investigation. C'est ici qu'elle va faire la connaissance du détective principal chargé de l'enquête, Esteban Flores. Ce qu'elle ne sait pas est qu'à ce stade, le détective avait déjà au préalable eu un entretien avec les personnes ayant découvert le meurtre. Esteban leur a demandé quelle personne pouvait vouloir du mal à Travis et le nom de Jodi est souvent revenu. Le plus étonnant, et qui va grandement lui desservir, est qu'elle accepte de donner un échantillon de son ADN qui semble être une poursuite de stratégie qu'elle a voulu mettre en place. Je n'ai rien fait la preuve, je vous aide de tout mon possible dans votre enquête. Ou peut-être était-ce un excès de confiance. Car en effet, les équipes de police scientifique vont réussir à déterminer que le sang retrouvé sur une palme ensanglantée au niveau de la salle de bain contenait un mélange de l'ADN de Jodi et Travis. Pour que l'on comprenne bien le personnage, il faut savoir que Jodi avait posté plusieurs photos d'elle et Travis sur les réseaux sociaux avec des messages en geste de deuil et va même jusqu'à envoyer les fleurs préférées de sa grand-mère, qui est également la personne qui a élevé Travis et est probablement la plus affectée par sa mort. Elle ne sera arrêtée qu'un mois après la découverte du corps à la maison de ses grands-parents le 15 juillet 2008, ce qui lui a notamment permis de peaufiner son alibi. Elle était en possession d'un journal intime dans lequel elle rédigeait quotidiennement les éléments marquants de sa journée. Ainsi, le 10 juin, ou 4 jours après avoir tué Travis, elle y écrit « Il m'a dit que c'était à propos de Travis mais qu'il ne pouvait pas m'en dire plus. Je ne sais pas ce qu'il se passe et j'ai besoin de réponses. Je prie pour que ce soit une erreur. J'ai essayé de l'appeler. Rien. » Elle va continuer ce jeu d'actrice sur plus de 6 pages, à décrire à quel point toute cette histoire est surréaliste, qu'elle n'arrive pas à en dormir, pleure et remercie Travis pour tout ce qu'il a pu lui apporter dans sa vie. On se retrouve maintenant au cours de sa première interrogation. C'est le détective Flores qui s'en occupe et elle n'en connaît pas la raison, mais le détective va d'abord l'interroger en tant que témoin.
Yeah, I've been working on Travis's case ever since it happened. Okay, and I know exactly when it happened, when he was killed. I know a lot of details, and just recently we found quite a bit of evidence, and I'll discuss that with you. The main thing that I'm looking for, though, is answers on why certain things happened, why they went so far, and also to get your statements.
Okay.
A lot of details on this case that haven't been released to the public and not even to Travis's family. And those details are known only by us and the person who did it. Okay, and that's one of the reasons I'm here, is because I believe that you know some of these details. And I think you can help us.
I would love to help you in any way that I can.
Okay.
À ce moment dans l'investigation, seules de fortes suspicions sont posées sur Jodi, mais sa dernière phrase suffit à traduire parfaitement la stratégie qu'elle va appliquer pendant toute la durée de l'interrogation, c'est-à-dire 2 heures.
And then there was a time period he really wasn't seeing anybody, and then Mimi came into the picture. What did you think about her? And that
I didn't know a lot about
relationship?
her. She seems like a really nice girl. He showed me her picture on Facebook. You know, I don't think she had a lot of pictures on there. He said that he's not sure why, but he's pretty sure that she could be it. And I was happy for him. I didn't find out about Lisa.
This conversation you had face to face with him?
Yeah,
or-
yeah, it was in his room.
La personne que Jodi a vu embrasser Travis chez lui, c'était bien Mimi. Elle le savait et est allée chez Travis le lendemain pour lui demander des explications, mais le détective n'est pas au courant à ce stade de l'enquête.
Over to his trip to Cancun that he was going to. When did you first find out about that he was going with Mimi?
Oh, I found out about that at his memorial services on Monday. It was the Monday night memorial service.
So you didn't know that he was going to Cancun?
I knew he was going, yeah.
Okay. You didn't know he was taking Mimi?
I didn't know that. I think that's awesome, actually.
And obviously you guys kept this relationship hidden from everybody else, and because nobody really knew about it.
Well,
There were some people who I talked to and said, yeah, they continued to have a relationship even after they broke up. And there are others who were saying that you had become obsessive with him to the point to where you would go into his house when he wasn't there or when you weren't invited, and he would talk to people saying, you know, she just kind of showed up, and I don't want to tell her to leave, but you know, I don't want her here.
oh,
You know,
must have been
it's-
early on,
yeah.
because there were a couple times when we established a rule early on, just don't come over unless, he said, you can come over anytime, but I need to know first.
Yes.
He's like, you just never know.
And do I believe that you had come to visit Travis? Yes. I truly believe it. Did you have the opportunity? Yes. You were traveling alone. There's no other witnesses. Your phone just happened to turn off from here to here.
Well,
Le détective fait ici référence à l'alibi de Jodi. Elle lui a indiqué avoir effectué un voyage jusqu'à Salt Lake City le jour où Travis a été tué. Son présumé voyage commence à Barstow, où elle y emprunte une voiture de location, puis se rend à Pasadena, à côté de Los Angeles. À partir d'ici, elle raconte au détective qu'elle s'est perdue en cours de route et a pris la nationale 40 au lieu de la 15 jusqu'à Kingman avant de remonter à Las Vegas, puis Salt Lake City à nouveau. Elle a d'ailleurs pu être tracée par des trous téléphoniques jusqu'au moment où son téléphone s'éteint magiquement après avoir passé Kingman. Le détective lui explique que son histoire n'a aucun sens et nous savons qu'il a raison, car Jodi n'a jamais fait demi-tour ce jour-là et sa réelle destination était Mesa.
I didn't turn it off physically, but it died.
And then it magically,
I got
you
it.
found your charger here?
It was packed under the seat of the passenger side, and it was when I was.
When you were lost, you couldn't have maybe pulled over and found it? Or?
Well, I did finally start looking when I was stranded.
But I don't think you're being completely honest with me about that trip.
I honestly got lost. It's bad timing.
Were you at Travis's house on Wednesday?
Absolutely not. I was nowhere near Mesa. I was nowhere near
No.
Phoenix.
Le détective a fait exprès de ne dévoiler ces informations que petit à petit pour obtenir sa version des faits et voir si elle concorde avec les preuves. Et Jodi a systématiquement menti à chaque question posée. Elle a notamment pris soin de supprimer les photos prises le jour du meurtre, mais ce qu'elle ne savait pas est que le FBI possède une méthode pour récupérer les données effacées des appareils électroniques avec les dates et heures précises. On a déjà pu en voir quelques-unes, mais 2 d'entre elles se démarquent des autres, l'une montrant l'appareil photo en train de tomber par terre, et l'autre qui semble être le pied de Jodi et Travis qui se vide de son sang. On y reviendra plus tard, mais notez que les 2 photos ont été prises à 62 secondes d'écart.
I'm not guilty. I didn't hurt Travis. If I hurt Travis, if I killed Travis, I would beg for the death penalty.
Why is everybody saying that you had something to do with his death? Why is everybody saying that you were capable of hurting him? Everybody says it.
I don't know why anyone
So don't
think
tell
I'm
me that
capable.
you're not capable.
I don't even hurt spiders. Oh, I kicked a dog once. I was a freshman in high school, and I love animals. And we had this dog, his name was Doggy Boy.
La première interrogation se termine globalement sur ça, des preuves plutôt incriminantes, mais le détective n'obtiendra rien d'elle. Les informations qu'il a récoltées restent quoi qu'il arrive positives pour son enquête, car un suspect qui ment constamment peut avoir sa parole remise en doute. On se retrouve maintenant le jour suivant, Jodi a passé la nuit en prison et commence sa seconde interrogation qui va durer plus de 5 heures. Une des tactiques principales que vont utiliser les investigateurs pour faire céder Jodi cette fois-ci est simple et connue de tous, celle du gentil méchant policier. L'investigatrice que vous voyez ici est celle qui va jouer le rôle du méchant policier. Son objectif est d'affaiblir mentalement Jodi, de la faire se sentir coupable et mal à l'aise.
There's no question in my mind or any of the other investigators' mind that you were the person that took Travis's life. But what I need to know, or what I'd like to know, and give you the opportunity to do, is determine whether, you're a cold-blooded, cold-hearted murderer who slaughtered this guy, or are you somebody that got caught up in circumstances and things got out of control? Because I think that is what happened.
Elle ment ici. Elle cherche à diminuer la culpabilité du meurtre en lui donnant une porte de sortie. Ça a dérapé, il t'a forcé à te défendre par exemple, et par la même occasion, elle veut obtenir un aveu.
I've never seen a case with so much concrete, hard evidence. We don't need you to tell us anything. I'm doing this for you. And what I'm hearing is somebody who doesn't give a rip about what happened. I'm hearing somebody that's worried about money, your appearance, everything about you. I don't hear anything about Travis unless you're specifically asked. How do you think that looks?
Listen, I don't care so much
No,
about...
you listen. You are not grasping the reality here, Jodi. You're worried about wedding pictures and, all this other stuff that is really insignificant.
Well, listen, my life is over. Travis's life is over. I'm sorry about Travis. I didn't take his life.
You are the only person that has the information that the family seeks. They don't seek, crime scene information. They will already have that. They seek something that is on a much deeper level. It's an emotional level. And you are the only person that can help them with that.
wasn't angry at Travis. Everyone keeps saying whoever did this was so angry.
Then what were you? Were you scared? Were you jealous?
I remember feeling jealous when we were together.
J'arrête ici car elle va dériver du sujet volontairement et blablater. C'est assez impressionnant la manière dont elle arrive à jouer avec les limites. Tout le long, l'investigatrice réussit à la pousser à bout, mais à chaque fois, Jodi change de sujet et contourne la question coupée à de longs silences. Environ 1 heure plus tard, voyant qu'elle n'est pas coopérative, l'investigatrice va demander à plusieurs reprises si elle préfère parler à Flores, ce qu'elle va accepter. C'est voulu par les enquêteurs car elle associe le détective à une personne de confiance qui l'écoute et ne lui coupe pas la parole. Ce genre de manœuvres ont commencé à s'articuler avant même que Jodi ne soit interrogée pour la première fois. Flores rentre dans la pièce et directement après, Jodi va lui demander les photos de la scène de crime, quelque chose qu'elle a demandé déjà à voir à plusieurs reprises et lui a été refusé. Si elle insiste autant, ce n'est pas pour rien. Elle cherche à connaître l'étendue des preuves que possède la police pour pouvoir modeler son histoire autour.
What is it you want to know about the photos? Do you want to see the room? Do you want to see the bathroom, or do you want to see him, or is it the photos before it happened that you want to see?
I think the photos of after everything.
I won't show you those. I won't, and not in good conscience. I can't do that.
Is there any that you can?
No. I can't do that. Jodi, your time's running out. I'm not going to be able to talk to you anymore. And I want to. Once you get into the system, I'm not going to be able to talk to you anymore. You were there that day, weren't you? Were you guys alone? Can you answer that for me? Were you guys alone?
I'm just trying to think.
You keep fighting it.
What happened to me today and from here on out? If I just told you every single detail that I know, and I gave you a confession.
Nothing else changes. It just speeds up the process. What happened after that? What went wrong? I know that the last photos of him were taken about 5:20, 5:30. And you said he doesn't like you to take pictures of him and stuff.
He was very private about the shower. Like we.
Is that why you were taking pictures of him in the shower?
No, no.
Trying to get back at him.
No.
Flores a fait fort ici, et c'est à ça qu'on peut remarquer qu'il est doué dans son métier. Il a réussi à piéger Jodi et à lui faire admettre qu'elle est celle qui a pris les photos de Travis dans la douche et elle ne peut plus revenir en arrière. Elle a d'ailleurs tellement été prise de court qu'elle en perd même la parole.
I'm surprised he allowed you to take pictures of him in the shower. The first few looked like he wasn't too comfortable, but obviously whatever you were saying to him made him a little more comfortable.
I remember all that pretty clearly.
You remember that? What went wrong? Did he say something to you? Were you angry about something? Were you frustrated? What was it? Someone not expecting you to be there?
I want to see my car.
Then who was it?
I don't know their names. Listen, I can tell you. I can tell you everything that I know or that I remember.
Okay. What do you remember? From the time you were taking the pictures to the time you left. What happened? If you want me to believe that somebody else was there, you have to show me. You have to explain to me what happened. Otherwise, it was just you. And if that's the case, that's okay. That's okay as well.
It's better if everyone thinks that.
Why would somebody do that? Just because you're there with Travis?
They didn't say.
Hmm?
They didn't say.
He didn't say? They?
Is there any way I can see those pictures?
No, not right now.
Can I see them soon? I will.
You need to start letting me know what happened.
Okay.
You're telling me that some other people were there. You know how much that concerns me?
I don't know who they were, but they know where I live.
Mm-hmm.
Or they know where my parents are, or I don't know if they know where my grandparents are, but they got my address, and they know where my family is.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
So you're trying to say you're doing this to protect your family? Why would someone do this to you and to him?
I don't think they really intended to do anything to me.
Well, you have to give me a motive. Why would they do this? Were they going after Travis? For what reason? You tell me this, but you give me no reason.
They didn't discuss much. They just argued
About what?
about whether or not to kill me,
For what reason?
because I'm a witness
A witness of what?
of him, of Travis.
Of Travis's murder.
Yeah, but I didn't really witness it. Didn't see much.
Okay.
I just oh.
You need to make this believable, because it is not believable to me right now. You need to give me something.
Okay. I just listen.
I am listening,
Yeah,
Jodi. I am listening,
I'm
and
just
it doesn't
saying-
make any sense to me.
It's fine because my family will.
Well, help us protect your family. If that's the case.
They got my driver's license. It has a PO box on it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If you don't believe me, that's okay.
I'm trying to. I'm trying
I'm just saying
really
that
hard.
it sounds to me like I'm already in the system, pretty far in, and I'm not getting out anytime soon. And as long as the rap falls on me, I think that
It's not good. Don't do this.
No, I'm just saying. I think that as long as that is, there's less of a chance that my little brother is going to be hurt, or my mom, or my dad, or my sister that live there.
Okay. What happened? What happened, Jodi? What did you see?
I I took it out like a little bitch.
You took off?
I ran, and he stopped me, but
He stopped you?
and Travis, he was he was still like conscious and still alive, and
But you just left him there.
no, I ran into the closet because there's 2 doors, and they were sort of in the hallway already, and he stopped me, and he didn't touch me. He was just held the gun to my head, and he was like, "You don't go anywhere," and he told the other girl to finish it. I didn't see, but he was like, I don't think he was saying a lot, but
What happened?
he told me to stay there and not to move.
And where was that? No idea why they did this to him. You have to know something about it.
Trying to think what else was said.
Anything that clicked in your mind. Because why would anybody do this to him? He does nothing but help people. Everybody likes him. Doesn't owe people money. Don't people like that anyway.
No.
He doesn't get involved in things he's not supposed to get involved in. He doesn't do drugs. Doesn't seem like a robbery.
No, it doesn't.
Burglary.
I was wondering if they took my stuff to make it look that way, but then he told me to leave. And, you know, Travis usually keeps his cash in his wallet.
So you didn't see what happened to him then?
I just saw that.
Did you get hurt at all? You said you were fighting with her.
Yeah.
What happened to you?
She got me.
Where at?
My hand.
Let me see. Where at? Okay. Nothing changes for me.
I didn't think it would. I feel responsible because I feel that I could have done more. I feel that I should have gotten help. I feel that I should have been stronger.
You feel responsible because you did this.
I did not
Jodi,
kill
you
Travis.
did. You did. And there's nothing you can say that'll change my mind at this point. This is an elaborate story which does not make any sense. Two people come in, first 2 white males, and then later you change it to...
No, I don't think I ever said white male.
Yes, you did.
When?
At the beginning of the story.
Oh, it was one.
And then you change it, oh no, one's a female.
Oh, it was female the whole time. I said I wasn't sure at first, but you could tell by their build.
Okay. It doesn't make any sense to me. And there's no reason anybody would go after him. There's nothing in his past, nothing in his, at that time that he was going through that would cause somebody to do that to him. And the fact that they left you alive and let you go, that never happens. Why would anybody do that? Why would somebody risk the chance of getting caught, just letting you run out the front door when they're upstairs in this house, killing somebody, knowing that you could just run across the street and tell somebody? It doesn't make any sense. Does it make any sense to you? It doesn't, does it?
No, they argued about it. Doesn't make sense. I thought for sure I was dead.
And we'll just leave it the way it is.
I know that it's obvious I was there.
No, it's obvious that you committed a crime, that you hurt
There's
Travis.
no reason for
No,
me to hurt him.
it's not like that. It's. I know that you did this, and you refuse to tell me why.
There's no
You
reason.
refuse to tell me why. There's no reason somebody else would come in and do this to him. There's no motive whatsoever. We haven't found any.
What is my motive?
Jealousy, anger, fear, if you're being alone, angry at him for not keeping you in his life, I don't know. That's why I'm trying to figure it out. There are so many motives with you. Too many. We know you had a 25 auto. You guys reported it stolen.
Ce à quoi il fait référence ici est que Jodi avait prémédité le meurtre une semaine à l'avance. L'arme dont il parle appartenait aux grands-parents de Jodi et a été volée le 28 mai. Rien d'alarmant jusque-là, sauf que le voleur en question, après s'être introduit dans la maison en brisant une vitre, n'a pris qu'un pistolet dans toute la maison. Flores affirme que c'est elle qui a commis le vol et il a sûrement raison, car le mode opératoire du voleur n'a aucun sens et le calibre du pistolet correspond à l'arme du meurtre.
That's how you want to leave it.
I know that I didn't take Travis's life. And I know
Well,
that
I
you
know
don't.
you did.
Look, I know you don't believe me.
I don't believe you.
As long as I am here, someone else is happy. And it's not them.
So you're just gonna let these two people get away with it?
There's not even any way to identify them. One was male, one was female. They were taller than me. Not by a whole lot.
It doesn't matter. But I was hoping that we could resolve this here. And it's obvious by what you're telling me, you don't want to resolve this here.
I just can't.
Well, at the beginning you told me that you couldn't tell me because you couldn't tell me who they were because you didn't want your family to get hurt.
I can't let my family.
And now you're telling me you don't know who they are, and therefore it doesn't matter. So there's nothing you can tell me.
I can give you the
So
best
many
description.
inconsistencies that I don't even want to deal with right now.
Okay, I just don't want my
Okay.
family to get hurt.
Okay? They won't get hurt. You're hurting them right now by not telling me the truth. That's what you're doing. Okay?
L'interrogation se termine ici et le détective quitte la pièce. Cette affaire va très vite faire du bruit et Jodi accepte toutes les demandes d'interview que les chaînes de télévision lui proposent. Elle est persuadée que cette traction médiatique va lui permettre de devenir célèbre, au point d'en écrire des manifestes pour passer le temps en prison. Je vais maintenant vous proposer un petit jeu. Vous êtes accusé à tort d'avoir poignardé, égorgé et tiré sur une personne. Une fois mis en prison, une chaîne de télévision vous demande une interview afin de connaître votre version de l'histoire. Maintenant, comparez le comportement que vous auriez et celui de Jodi. Ah, d'ailleurs, j'ai failli oublier, mais votre famille est menacée de mort aussi.
I guess that's really all I needed. Sorry, don't roll the tape yet.
Jodi, how did you meet Travis and when?
We met at the Rainforest Cafe in the MGM Grand in Las Vegas.
Okay. Why was he a good traveling companion?
Oh, he was a great traveling companion for many reasons. Traveling with Travis was kind of like traveling with your own personal comedian or serenader. How it went.
Was there jealousy on the part of both of you guys? Or?
I would say, on my end, not so much jealousy, maybe a sense of insecurity, but that's just me. On his end, sometimes. I don't think it was warranted, but I took it as a compliment.
But were you obsessed with him? Or those are the allegations they made?
No, not at all.
Jodi, you're pretty calm sitting here. Somebody who's been arrested and accused of murdering somebody. How are you managing to stay so calm?
Through my faith and through the knowledge of my own innocence. That's the only thing. I would be shaking in my boots right now if I had to answer to God for such a heinous crime.
A lot of details on this case that haven't been released to the public and not even to Travis's family. And those details are known only by us and the person who did it. Okay, and that's one of the reasons I'm here, is because I believe that you know some of these details. And I
Okay.
think you can help us.
I would love to help you in any way that I can.
Okay.
Did you hear yourself telling the detective that you would help them in any way that you could?
Yes.
That's not true, is it?
I don't know, I guess it depends on what help means.
Yes or no? Were you there to help him?
I don't know.
Were you there to tell the truth?
No.
La personne que l'on voit à la barre est bien Jodi. Son procès a commencé le 2 janvier 2013 et elle fait face au procureur Martinez chargé de rendre justice à la famille de Travis. Il est intéressant de noter son changement extrême d'apparence qui s'apparente à une volonté de paraître plus innocente et fragile avec un look de bibliothécaire, contrairement au cliché de la blonde stupide. On pourrait se dire que c'est aller chercher loin, mais Jodi vient de passer 5 ans en prison à attendre ce moment précis.
That wasn't the truth, was it? That you were there to help him, was it?
No, that was not the truth.
And in fact, you were there for a different purpose. You were there so that he wouldn't get the truth, right?
No, I was there against my will.
Sous le conseil de ses 2 avocats, Jodi a laissé tomber la version des 2 tueurs armés en faveur d'une troisième lui donnant le plus de chances de s'en sortir, celle de la légitime défense. Ce qu'ils vont chercher à montrer pendant les 56 jours que vont durer son procès est que Travis la battait régulièrement, qu'il avait un penchant pédophile qu'elle cachait du public pour protéger sa réputation et qu'elle n'a pas eu d'autre choix de le tuer qu'en réalité, c'était Travis qui voulait en finir avec elle et la forcer dans une situation de tuer ou être tué.
Take a look at Exhibit 485. It says, Travis, you're beautiful on the inside and out, doesn't it?
Yes.
Isn't that kind of a lie based on what you've told us here in court today?
Objection argumentative.
Sustained, rephrased.
That's not true based on what you told us here in court, right?
Objection argumentative.
Overruled.
I believed that he had inner beauty, yes. So it is true.
So you think somebody who masturbates to pictures of little boys is beautiful on the inside, right?
I don't think that aspect of him is beautiful at all. I think it's sickening.
Well, I'm asking you, you did write beautiful on the inside, and yet you knew, according to you, that he had this issue, right?
Yes.
And you also indicated that you believed that he needed help, right?
He did need help.
You also write, you always told me that I never stopped believing in you, and I know that you always believed in me, right? That's what it says, right?
Yes.
You always believed in him, right?
Yes, I did.
And even though, according to you, he would get this mean look on his face, and he would come charging after you down the hallway, you still believed in him, right?
Yes, that wasn't who he wanted to be.
I'm not asking you if that's what he wanted to be. Did I ask you that, ma'am?
No.
I'm asking you whether or not you still believed in him if he, for example, according to you, threw you down and choked you. You still believed in him, right?
I believed in his potential still, yes.
So the answer is yes, right?
Yes.
Une autre partie de leur stratégie est la technique du « je ne sais pas, j'ai oublié ».
I don't know. Well, I'm not sure. I don't know the exact time. So I'm not sure. I don't know. I really
Right?
don't
You
know.
don't want to...
I don't remember. I don't remember. I don't remember that part.
Of course you didn't. The point is, you really didn't... You can't tell us anything about the circumstances of that day, can you?
That's not true.
Well, you can't tell us about the time, right?
Not a precise hour and minute.
You
no.
can't tell us what you worked at Mimi's, right? What hours, right?
Not the precise hours.
You can't tell us what time you got over to his house, right?
Not the precise minute.
You can't tell us if there was even a telephone call that morning, right?
I don't remember if there were calls that morning.
Right. Can't tell us anything. But you can tell us that you walked in and then there was this issue and you went in to help him with the Christmas decorations, right?
Yes.
And after you helped him with the Christmas decorations, you left, right?
Yes.
Drove away, right?
Yes.
Came back, right?
Yes.
And according to you, that's when you saw Mr. Alexander engaged in this masturbatory activity, right?
Yes.
Les nombreuses absences de mémoire servent à lancer des accusations à la volée tout en donnant le moins d'informations possible. De cette manière, la défense aura du mal à prouver leur véracité, mais l'attaque ne pourra pas prouver leur inexistence non plus.
Well,
When it hurts, sometimes I
ma'am, there's no question right now. You say that you have memory problems, but it depends on the circumstance, right?
That's right.
And give me the factors. I don't want to know about a specific circumstance. What factors influence your having a memory problem?
Usually when men like you are screaming at me or grilling me, or someone like Travis doing the same.
So that affects your memory problems,
It
right?
does. It makes my brain scramble.
So you're saying that it's basically what you're saying is Mr. Martinez's fault, that you can't remember things that are going on.
It's not your fault.
I'm not saying that. You're saying that, isn't it?
No, I'm not saying that.
Is there something about a certain decibel of the voice that creates problems?
Decibel, tone, content, sort of a combination of those factors.
One of the other things that we talked about was that you said, well, the defendant never said anything negative about Mr. Alexander in her journals. Do you remember saying that?
Yes, I do.
Yes. And let's talk about exhibit number 510. It says here, if Travis found out, he'd get upset, but I will not stand for him saying anything negative about her. In fact, from now on, I will not stand for him saying anything negative of any of my friends, right?
Yes.
And that was back on August of 2007, right?
Yes.
You were saying that this was an individual that was not very assertive.
No, she was not very assertive.
Right. You saw her in, what, 2009 and 2010 is when you began to see her, right?
Correct.
You're saying that that individual that you saw in 2009 and 2010, even though she wrote that back in 2007, was not very assertive.
She was not very assertive, no.
So the fact that she said, I will not stand for him saying anything negative about any of my friends, that doesn't mean that she's assertive.
No, it does not.
So in spite of the fact that the language indicates otherwise, you're going to take issue with that, even though it does indicate otherwise.
You were indicating, are you referring to this as an example of her saying something negative about Mr. Alexander? Or an example of her being assertive, at least in writing?
I thought we were talking about being assertive. Do you have a problem with remembering what I just
No, I don't
asked?
have any more problem than you do, sir.
Well, my question to you is, even though this is written down, you're saying, don't believe what's written down, because you're saying she wasn't assertive, even though this indicates that she is assertive.
Compound question and mischaracterizing his testimony.
Jimmy, answer.
Assertiveness is a characteristic of behavior. And one of the primary characteristics is being to say something and act something out and hold your ground and say what's on your mind in a non-aggressive manner, but rather to get your point across. The mere fact that she wrote down she's not going to stand for it anymore is nothing more than her writings. It is not an example of behavioral assertiveness.
But you're speculating that she didn't say it to him, aren't you?
I read it in her journal.
No, you're speculating that she never told this to Mr. Alexander.
I don't know that she told it to him.
Right, and so you're speculating that she didn't.
Right.
This is the individual that wasn't truthful on the PDS, right? Or discussed a version of events that she subsequently changed, right?
I'll say yes to that.
And this is an individual that lied to the police, right?
Correct.
This is an individual that called Mr. Alexander after she killed him, right?
Correct.
This is an individual that lied to her friends, right?
Objection, speculation. Knowledge.
I don't know.
Hold on.
Well, he just answered the question. He doesn't know.
All right, a rule.
Well, sir, you were asked about a conversation that the defendant had with Leslie Jodi yesterday. Do you remember that?
I do.
Oh, you do remember it then, right?
Objection, argumentative.
Le questionnement des témoins se fait ici à tour de rôle. Le procureur interroge le psychologue après les avocats et il a remarqué que son témoignage était biaisé en faveur de la défense. On peut d'ailleurs le remarquer du fait que l'avocate cherche à couper le rythme du procureur avec des objections lorsque les failles de son témoignage sont dévoilées. Ce qui va cependant sceller le résultat de ce procès sont deux éléments, avec tout d'abord le témoignage du médecin qui a réalisé l'autopsie de Travis.
In this particular case, you've indicated that there are three specific injuries that could have led to death. We talked about the stab wound in the chest, we've talked about the slitting of the throat, and then we've talked about the shot to the head. With regard to the shot to the head, would that have been rapidly fatal?
Likely would have been, yes.
And by rapidly fatal, what are we talking about?
Well, if you have a projectile going through the front part of the brain, the person may not die immediately, but they'll probably lose the ability to function normally. They'll lose consciousness and they'll be laying on the floor.
very short order. In other
Yes.
words, shot, they go down.
Yes.
How about the slashing to the throat in terms of whether or not it's rapidly fatal or not?
I think by far it's the most significant injury, and would have
And
been
why do you
most.
say that?
Well, it's just the most hemorrhagic injury. It's the one that I can demonstrate the most significant injury to the structures that are going to cause death, like the carotid artery, the windpipe, and the jugular vein.
And then the one to the heart, is that, I think we've talked about it, but in terms of rapidly fatal, less fatal, which of these, if we're going to apply that standard as to which are the most fatal, how about the one to the chest? Is that the most fatal or the least fatal? Which may not be the
Probably the middle. It's a significant injury. It would definitely cause death without medical attention.
And would that cause unconsciousness immediately?
Yes. Not immediately. Not the chest wound, no.
From what I'm hearing you say, of the three that we've talked about, two of them, the one to the neck and the one to the gunshot to the head, those appear, from what I hear you saying, that those would cause unconsciousness quickly. Immediately.
Yes.
And the one to the chest would not.
Less likely.
So if that's the scenario, and in this case we have the defensive wounds to the hands, what does that tell you about the sequencing of these three injuries?
I believe the wounds to the hands must have occurred before the fatal injuries, either of the head or of the throat.
And so what you're saying is that at some point during the stabbing, but before the slashing of the throat and before the gunshot to the head, this individual grabbed the knife.
Or attempted to.
Or the knife was applied.
Objection, leading. Rephrase.
Tell me about the sequencing of events as it applies to the two injuries, and one to the head and the slitting of the throat, and when this individual may have grabbed the knife or the knife was applied to his hands.
With the throat wound and the head wound, I don't think this person could have had a purposeful activity, meaning I don't think they could have raised their arms and attempted to defend themselves. With the chest wound, that's possible because he would not have been immediately unconscious.
Travis était bien conscient pendant l'assaut et essayait de se défendre avec ses mains. On peut affirmer ça, car en plus de ses coupures sur les mains, des signes de mouvement ont été retrouvés dans la salle de bain et le couloir menant à la salle de bain. Comme on le sait, la défense cherche à plaider la légitime défense, et dans cette optique, ils cherchent à prouver que c'est le tir dans la tête qui est arrivé en premier, avant l'égorgement et les coups de couteau. Or, ce qu'explique le médecin est que la seule option qui corrobore avec les traces de mouvement sont les coups de couteau. Les deux autres auraient rendu Travis inconscient immédiatement.
And then you got up, and then the fog started to come in, right?
I'd say the fog started to come in after the gunshot. After I got up and he threatened my life, I have no clear memories after that.
And that's when the memory issue started, correct? Right?
I'd say that.
Actually, ma'am, the way you describe that, it's impossible for the killing to have happened in that manner, isn't it?
Objection argumentative.
No, that's just according to you.
Isn't it?
No, it's not impossible.
Jodi vient tout juste de décrire la façon dont le meurtre a eu lieu. Le procureur avait trouvé une faille dans son témoignage et l'a baladé en lui posant de simples questions, sans lui révéler le tableau dans son ensemble. D'après elle, il se prenait en photo nu dans la salle de bain avec le nouvel appareil photo de Travis. Puis, Jodi le fait tomber par terre et Travis, réaction tout à fait normale, devient fou de rage. Il la soulève et la plaque contre les carreaux de la salle de bain. Malgré ça, Jodi arrive à s'enfuir et court pour s'échapper de sa maison. Sauf qu'elle aperçoit un pistolet dans le placard et décide toujours de façon banale de le récupérer. Puis court jusqu'à la salle de bain à nouveau et pointe le pistolet à Travis car depuis tout ce temps, il l'a pourchassé. Jodi espérait que Travis arrête de la poursuivre, mais au contraire. Travis, tellement énervé que son appareil photo se tombait par terre, se jette sur elle et c'est à ce moment que le tir dans la tête s'est produit. Travis s'effondre à gauche de Jodi, qui se rend compte qu'elle n'a plus le pistolet entre ses mains, alors elle s'écarte de Travis et c'est à ce moment qu'il la menace de mort et juste après cet instant, de ses propres mots, elle n'a plus de souvenir clair de ce qu'il s'est passé car un brouillard l'empêchait de voir et de penser. Le brouillard dont elle parle est ce qui permet de justifier les 27 coups de couteau et le coup à la gorge. Une amnésie dissociative qui peut se manifester au cours d'un événement traumatique et qui peut expliquer pourquoi certaines personnes perdent une partie de leur mémoire. En d'autres termes, Jodi explique au jury qu'elle n'avait plus un seul contrôle sur ses actions à partir de ce moment.
We know that there's some action that is going on at 5:31:14, right? Something's going on, right?
Yes.
We also know that Exhibit 162 is 5:32:16, which is a minute and 2 seconds later, correct?
Correct.
You didn't have the camera with you when you shot him, right?
I did not.
So this needed to have happened before you shot him, right?
That's correct.
So we're talking about a minute and 2 seconds between this and this right here, 162, exhibit 162, right?
Yes.
Right?
I don't know.
And so as you shot Mr. Alexander, you by necessity then have to go look for the knife, don't you?
I don't know the answer to that.
Well, you didn't have the knife in your hand when you shot him. Did you?
Sustained.
Did you have the knife in your hand when you shot him?
Objection, argumentative. It's the same question.
Overruled.
No, I did not.
So that means that if you didn't have the knife in your hand, you needed to go get it from somewhere, right?
I guess. I don't know.
No. There's no guessing here now. If you didn't have it in your hand and you just shot him and you rolled away, right?
Objection, argumentative.
Sustained.
You got out. You were able to get away, right? That's what you told us, right?
That's right.
You needed to go get that knife at that point, correct?
No, it's possible Travis grabbed the knife first.
Okay. But you told us that the knife wasn't there. Do you remember telling us that just now?
Objection, mischaracterizes your testimony.
Overruled.
No, I remember testifying that it wasn't in my hand when the gun went off.
Oh, so as Mr. Alexander's coming towards you, he now has the knife in his hand. That's what you're telling us.
No, I didn't say that either.
Okay, so as Mr. Alexander is getting blasted and going down, he's got the knife in his hand, right?
Objection, argumentative.
Overruled.
That was all in the same moment when he was lunging at me.
Doesn't have the knife in his hand, does he?
Not in that particular moment, no.
Ma'am, I'm asking you, at that particular time, he didn't have the knife in his hand, right?
I just said no.
And he goes down, sort of next to you, right?
Yes, we both go tumbling.
Sure, you both go down. You never told us that he had any knife there, did you?
No, I wasn't asked.
Oh, I see. So what you're saying is, now he has the knife with him, right? Now that's what you're saying, he's got the knife.
I didn't say that either.
Well, which one is it, ma'am? Does he have the knife or he doesn't have the knife? You were there. This is before.
Argumentative, asked and answered about 3 times now.
Sustained.
You do then agree that if you didn't know where the knife was, and Mr. Alexander didn't have it, it would take time for you to go find that knife, wouldn't it?
Objection, argumentative.
Overruled.
I don't know. I don't know where the knife was.
Right. Since you didn't know where the knife was, it would take time to go find it, irrespective of where it was, wouldn't it?
I don't know the answer to that.
In this case, what we have to deal with, as we did the mathematics, 62 seconds. And what you're telling us, under your scenario, is that in 62 seconds, you get body slammed, you do whatever you do, but you get away, you run down the hallway, you go in the closet, you grab a gun, you back up, you shoot Mr. Alexander. After you shoot Mr. Alexander, you pick up the camera because you said it's only a possibility, and he's already down the hallway with his throat slit. Right? That's what you're telling us happened in those 62 seconds.
It's argumentative, lack of foundation.
Overruled. You may answer.
I didn't say that was the only possibility with the camera. So
No.
that wasn't correct the way you asked it.
I'm not asking
And I don't know that his
about-
throat is slit in that picture either.
I'm not asking you about the possibility. I'm asking you if you're telling us that within 62 seconds, you drop the camera, because that's what precipitates these things, and we have this right here where there's some action, which is exhibit number 161, that in the 62 seconds between that photograph and Exhibit 162, you are body slammed, you get away, you go down the hallway, you go in the closet, you get the gun, you go into the bathroom again, you then turn around and you point the gun, you shoot him, he goes down, he's still pawing at you and saying, "Fucking kill you, bitch." And then, after you're able to get away, you go get the knife, and he ends up at the end of the hallway, all in 62 seconds. That's what you're telling us?
No, that's not what I'm saying, and he didn't say fucking kill you bitch till I got away.
Jodi tente désespérément de nier tous les propos du procureur et répondre hors sujet, mais il est déjà trop tard.
This individual, the defendant, Jodi Arias, killed Travis Alexander. And even after stabbing him over and over again, and even after slashing his throat from ear to ear, and then even after taking a gun and shooting him in the face, she will not let him rest in peace. But now, instead of a gun, instead of a knife, she uses lies. And she uses these lies in court when she testified to stage the scene for you, just like she staged the scene for the police after she killed Mr. Alexander. This is an individual who is manipulative. This is an individual who will stop at nothing and will continue to be manipulative and will lie at every turn and at every occasion that she has. On that prophetic day, he also tells her something else in Exhibit 450. She's apologizing to him. Again, she's manipulating him. She does something and she apologizes and everything is supposed to be okay. But by this time, he has had enough. And he says, "I don't want your apology. I want you to understand what I think of you." That's what he's telling her. He's telling her he wants her to understand what it is that he thinks of her. He says, "I want you to understand how evil I think you are." At that point, when he's writing that, he is extremely afraid of her because of her stalking behavior. And he does think she's evil. And how prophetic. Look at it, these next words, how absolutely prophetic. No one can dispute that that is the truest, those are the truest words that are spoken in this case. And they're spoken by Mr. Alexander, even though he is not here, through his writings. You, Jodi Arias, are the worst thing that ever happened to me. Any doubt that that's the truth? Do we need to look at the pictures of his gashed throat? Do we need to look at the sort of frog-like state that she left him in, all crumbled up in that shower? Or do we need to look at his face where she put that bullet in his right temple to know that what he says there is true? You are the worst thing that ever happened to me. He's telling her enough is enough.
The State of Arizona versus Jodi Arias, verdict, count 1. We, the jury, duly impaneled and sworn, in the above entitled action, upon our oaths, do find the defendant as to count 1, first-degree murder, guilty.
À travers cette vidéo, je voulais partager une partie du métier d'un détective et celui d'un procureur. Jodi échappe finalement à la peine de mort car un seul jury a voté contre, empêchant une décision unanime, mais elle reste incarcérée à vie. Sur ce, j'espère que la vidéo vous a plu car elle m'a pris du temps. C'est tout pour moi, ciao.